Imagine this for a second. You start with just $5,000. No fancy tools, no complicated indicators, no paid signals flashing buy or sell. Just a chart, your mindset, and the market staring back at you. Now picture this. Over time, that 5,000 grows into hundreds of thousands, then into millions, all without relying on a single indicator. Sounds impossible, right? That's what most traders think. But one trader actually did it. And the secret wasn't in some magic formula. It wasn't in the latest trading course. The real secret was hidden in his psychology. Here's the truth. Most traders don't blow up their accounts because they picked the wrong stock or the wrong entry. They blow up because they lost control of themselves. Their emotions hijacked the trade. Their fear cut profit short. Their frustration pushed them into revenge trades. Their greed tempted them to risk it all on one setup. And when that happens, it doesn't matter how good your strategy is. The account eventually burns to the ground. But this trader flipped the script. He realized that the edge wasn't in chasing more indicators or adding more noise to the chart. The edge was in mastering himself. Discipline, patience, structure, emotional control, those became his tools, and they were sharper than any indicator could ever be. Today, I'm going to walk you through the exact psychology blueprint that allowed him to turn 5,000 into millions. If you've ever hesitated to pull the trigger, overtraded out of boredom, or exited early because of fear, then this masterclass is going to hit you hard. Stay tuned, because once you understand this shift, you'll never see trading the same way again.
Let's be honest for a moment. Why do most traders fail? Why do so many people come into the markets with hope, excitement, and even the best strategies in hand, only to walk away empty-handed, frustrated, or worse, completely broke? The answer might surprise you. It's not because they didn't study enough. It's not because they didn't find the right indicator. And it's not even because they lacked intelligence. The truth is, most traders fail because of one thing: a broken mindset. Think about it. You can have the sharpest strategy in the world. You can memorize every technical pattern. You can backtest your system until it looks flawless on paper. But the second you put your money on the line, everything changes. Suddenly, the market isn't just numbers on a screen. It's personal. Every candle feels like it's attacking you. Every pullback feels like betrayal. Every green bar feels like hope. And every red bar feels like pain. Here's the brutal reality. Most traders aren't trading the market. They're trading their emotions. Fear, greed, impatience, frustration. That's what's really calling the shots. And emotions, unlike strategy, don't follow rules. They push you to break your plan. They whisper, "Get in now before it's too late." They shout, "Double down, you can't end the day red." They tempt you into overtrading, chasing, or holding on too long, hoping the market will magically turn back in your favor. Let me paint the picture. You take a small loss in the morning. Nothing major, but it stings. Instead of stepping back, your ego takes over. You tell yourself, "I have to get that money back." Now, you're no longer trading setups, you're trading revenge. And just like that, you jump into a mediocre trade. It doesn't follow your rules, but you convince yourself it will work. The trade fails, the loss grows, and the spiral begins. Or maybe it's the opposite. You finally land a winning trade. You're up big. But as the candles move in your favor, you can't breathe. Your heart's racing. Your mind screams, "Take profits now before it all disappears." So you exit early. You lock in a small gain, and then you watch helplessly as the trade runs exactly where you originally planned. Your confidence shrinks. You hesitate on the next setup. You miss opportunities, and doubt begins to eat away at you. Sound familiar? That's because it's the cycle most traders live in every single day. They're not losing because their strategy doesn't work. They're losing because their mindset doesn't. Here's something most people never admit. The market doesn't care about your strategy. The market doesn't care about your feelings. The market doesn't care that you want to win. It will test your patience. It will test your confidence. And if you don't have control over your own emotions, the market will expose that weakness and punish you for it. That's why the trader we're studying today succeeded where others failed. He understood that psychology wasn't just part of trading, it was the foundation of it. Before he could grow his account, he had to master his nervous system. He had to master the emotional storms that hit every time money was at risk. So when most traders were chasing signals, he was chasing discipline. When most traders were glued to indicators, he was training his patience. And when most traders blew up accounts in frustration, he built his fortune by doing the opposite. This is the part most people skip. They want quick profits, but they ignore the emotional game that actually decides those profits. And that's exactly what we're about to break down. Because once you understand why traders really fail, you can finally begin to understand how to win.
The transformation story. Up until now, we've exposed the problem. Most traders don't fail because of bad strategies. They fail because of broken psychology. But here's where things get interesting. Because the trader we're talking about today didn't just recognize that truth, he built his entire success around it. Let me take you back to the beginning of his journey. He wasn't some Wall Street insider. He didn't come from a hedge fund background. He wasn't handed a golden playbook. He was just a self-taught trader with $5,000 in his account and a burning obsession to figure this game out. Like most beginners, he started the same way many of us did. He searched for the perfect indicator. He bounced from one strategy to another. He believed, like so many traders do, that the secret was out there, the right tool, the right mentor, the right signal service. But the more he searched, the more he lost. And every loss didn't just hit his account, it hit his confidence. At one point, he almost quit. He was frustrated, drained, and ready to walk away. But here's where things changed everything. He sat down after yet another losing day, looked at his charts, and realized something powerful. It wasn't the market that was beating him. It wasn't even his strategy. It was himself, his reactions, his impulses, his inability to stay disciplined when money was on the line. That realization was the turning point. Instead of obsessing over finding a better indicator, he started obsessing over controlling his mind. Instead of asking which setup is perfect, he began asking, how do I respond when the setup comes? And that shift created a brand new trader. He stripped his charts bare. No clutter, no complicated signals, just clean price action. To him, indicators were noise. They gave a false sense of confidence, but they also added confusion. By removing them, he forced himself to see the market for what it really was. Human behavior, fear and greed playing out in real time. He also introduced what he called his sniper method. The idea was simple. Just like a sniper doesn't fire at every movement in the field, he wouldn't take every trade that looked tempting. He waited, patiently, sometimes for hours, sometimes for days. But when the right setup came, the clean, high-probability setup, he pulled the trigger, without hesitation, no second guessing, no fear, pure execution. And here's the part most traders overlook. He didn't just train his eyes, he trained his nervous system. How? Chart replay,
Over and over, he relived past market days. He practiced seeing setups form, practiced pulling the trigger, practiced managing emotions in slow motion. By the time real trades came, his body had already rehearsed the scenario dozens of times. His nervous system was calm, his reactions sharp. Risk management was another cornerstone. He built rules that didn't just protect his account, they protected his confidence. Because he knew something most traders ignore. Every time you take a massive loss, you don't just lose money, you lose belief in yourself. You lose stability. And when your confidence is gone, your trading collapses. By risking small, consistent amounts, he kept his mind sharp and his confidence intact. Momentum and structure became his focus. Instead of chasing every move, he learned to wait for moments when the market was clean, when themes were obvious, when momentum lined up with clarity. He didn't need to predict every move. He just needed to step in when the market was already showing its hand. Slowly, his results began to change. The small losses became controlled. The wins began to grow. His account didn't explode overnight. It grew steadily, piece by piece. But here's the secret. While the account was growing, something even bigger was happening. His identity as a trader was transforming. He wasn't just a guy chasing setups. He was becoming someone who traded like a professional. Calm, patient, disciplined. He built an identity that couldn't be shaken by one bad day or one losing streak. And that identity became the real engine of his success. By the time his 5,000 had grown into millions, the story wasn't about the money anymore. It was about who he had become in the process. A trader who mastered his emotions instead of being mastered by them. A trader who found clarity in simplicity. A trader who proved that psychology, not indicators, is the true edge in the market. And here's why his story matters to you. Because the same tools he used, the same mindset shifts, the same disciplines, the same psychological blueprint are available to you right now. He didn't have a secret resource that you can't access. He didn't need insider connections. What he built was inside himself. And if he could do it, so can you. That's the power of this transformation. It wasn't luck. It wasn't magic. It was discipline built day by day. And that's what we're about to break down next, the exact lessons you can apply to your own trading to create the same shift.
The core lessons. We've talked about the transformation, but let's get practical now. What exactly did this trader do that made all the difference? What were the principles he lived by, day after day, that turned a $5,000 account into millions? Let's break it down into 5 core lessons you can apply right now. Lesson 1. Mindset over strategy. Most traders spend their days searching for a magic strategy, a new indicator, a secret formula. But here's the truth. None of that matters if your mindset is broken. Think of it this way. If you hand the best strategy in the world to a trader who's scared, impulsive, and disciplined, he will still fail. Why? Because the moment money is on the line, fear hijacks his decisions. That's why this trader flipped the script. Instead of searching for the perfect entry, he worked on building the perfect mental state. He learned to pause before reacting. He learned to treat every trade as just one of 1,000, not a life or death decision. Your strategy is only as good as the mind executing it. Master yourself first. The profits will follow. Lesson 2. The Sniper Trigger System. This was one of his biggest breakthroughs. He stopped trying to be everywhere in the market, chasing every setup, every signal. Instead, he thought like a sniper.
A sniper doesn't fire at every movement in the distance. He waits. Hours, sometimes days, watching, patient, calm. And when the perfect shot appears, he pulls the trigger with confidence. That's exactly how this trader approached the market. He wasn't rushing into random trades. He wasn't reacting to every green or red candle. He built rules for himself. Only trade when the setup is clean, obvious, and high probability. This is the opposite of how most traders operate. Most traders are machine gunning the market, spraying bullets everywhere, hoping one lands. And just like in battle, that approach only leads to chaos and losses. Be the sniper. Wait. Watch. And when the opportunity is crystal clear, strike. Lesson 3. Training the nervous system. This might be the most overlooked part of trading psychology. It's not just about what you know. It's about how your body reacts when real money is at risk. Think about it. How many times have you seen the perfect setup but froze when it was time to enter? Or worse, you got in, but your hands were sweating, your heart was pounding, and you closed the trade early only to watch it run exactly where you thought it would? That's your nervous system betraying you. Knowledge without emotional control is useless. So how did he fix it? Chart replay. Over and over, he trained himself on past market days. He practiced spotting setups, practiced entries, practiced exits. But more importantly, he practiced staying calm. By the time real trades came, his body had already been there before. His nervous system was conditioned to stay steady. No panic, no hesitation, just execution. You can't just train your brain, you must train your nerves. And that's what separates amateurs from professionals. Lesson 4. Risk rules that protect confidence. Here's something every trader underestimates. Risk management isn't just about protecting money. It's about protecting confidence. Because let's be honest, what happens when you take a massive loss? Not only does your account shrink, but so does your belief in yourself. Suddenly you hesitate, you second guess, you spiral. This trader understood that, so he built rules that kept him safe, not just financially, but psychologically. He never risked so much that one trade could destroy his composure. He sized small. He kept his losses consistent, and that allowed him to come back day after day with a clear mind. He knew that the moment his confidence cracked, his trading would collapse. Protecting capital was important, but protecting his mental state was priceless. So here's your rule. Never risk an amount that makes you sweat. If you're losing sleep over your trades, you're risking too much. Lower the size, protect your confidence, and you'll last long enough to win big. Lesson 5. Momentum and clean structure. The last lesson was simplicity itself. He stopped complicating the game. No endless indicators, no confusing systems, just momentum and clean structure. Markets move in cycles. Themes emerge. Momentum builds. And when the chart is clean, the opportunities practically jump off the screen. He trained himself to see that, to trust that, to act only when the chart was simple, not noisy. Here's the irony. Most traders think more information equals better decisions. But in trading, it's the opposite. More information creates paralysis. More noise creates confusion. This trader realized the edge wasn't in doing more. It was in doing less, but doing it better. By focusing only on momentum and structure, he simplified his world, and that clarity made execution easy. So let's put it all together. Number 1, master your mindset before chasing strategies. Number 2, trade like a sniper, not a machine gun. Number 3, train your nervous system with repetition. Number 4, protect your confidence with smart risk rules. And number 5, and keep your charts clean. Focus on momentum and structure. These weren't just tricks, they were habits. And habits, stacked together, became the foundation that turned $5,000 into millions. Most traders will ignore this. They'll keep chasing the magic indicator. They'll keep blowing accounts. But if you choose to internalize these 5 lessons, you can step into the small minority who actually win. Because in the end, trading isn't about predicting the market. It's about mastering yourself.
The blueprint for traders. We've talked about the problems. We've broken down the transformation. We've laid out the core lessons. Now, let's bring it all together into something you can actually use. Because inspiration is great, but without action, nothing changes. And this trader's success wasn't built on theory. It was built on practice. So here's the exact blueprint you can begin applying today. Step 1. Strip away the noise. The very first thing he did was simplify. He removed every unnecessary indicator from his charts. No moving average crossover clutter, no rainbow of oscillators telling him 50 different stories. Just clean price action. Why? Because trading isn't about predicting the future with magic signals. It's about interpreting behavior. Every candle is a story of buyers and sellers. And when you see it clearly, without distractions, you begin to understand the rhythm of the market. So your first step, clean your charts. Force yourself to read price, structure, and momentum. It will feel uncomfortable at first, like flying without instruments, but clarity only comes when you remove the noise. Step 2. Define your sniper setup. Once his charts were clean, he built rules around exactly what he would trade. Remember the sniper. He doesn't fire at shadows. He waits for the perfect target. The same goes for you. You need to know exactly what your A-plus setup looks like. It could be a simple breakout, a clean pullback into structure, a momentum shift confirmed by volume. The exact setup doesn't matter as much as your clarity. If you don't know what you're looking for, every chart looks tempting, and temptation is the enemy. So take time to define your sniper setup. Write it down, save screenshots, build a playbook, and then promise yourself you only trade that, nothing else. Step 3. Train like an athlete. This is where most traders fall short. They study strategies, but they don't train execution. Think about athletes. A quarterback doesn't just watch football games. He runs drills, repeats movements, trains his body until it reacts automatically. That's how this trader approached his craft. He used chart replay like a practice field. Day after day, he relived market sessions. He practiced spotting setups, practiced entries, practiced exits. The repetition wasn't about making money, it was about building reflexes. So when he sat down in front of live markets, he wasn't guessing. His body already knew how to respond. Here's your step. Schedule practice sessions, not just trading live money, but reviewing, replaying, rehearsing. Train your nervous system until execution feels natural, not forced. Step 4. Build risk rules that guard your confidence. This step is non-negotiable. Most traders think risk management is about protecting their account, but the deeper truth, it's about protecting their confidence. This trader built guardrails for himself, rules so tight that he couldn't blow up. He set maximum daily loss limits. He kept his position sizes small enough that one trade never shook him emotionally. And when he hit those limits, he stopped, no exceptions. Why? Because he knew that once confidence breaks, discipline collapses. And once discipline collapses, the account follows. So here's your step. Write down your rules. Decide in advance how much you can lose in a day, in a week, in a trade, and stick to it. If you break your rules, stop trading and reset. Protect your mental capital as fiercely as your financial capital. Step 5. Wait for clean momentum and clear themes. The last step is patience. Trading isn't about being in the market all the time. It's about being in the market at the right time. This trader mastered the art of waiting. He didn't chase chop. He didn't force trades when the market was messy. He waited for momentum to align with structure. He waited for themes, clear, obvious moves that carried weight. When those moments came, he was ready, calm, focused, prepared, and that's when he struck. And your step is simple. Learn to sit on your hands. If the market is unclear, don't trade. Protect your energy, because one clean setup with momentum is worth more than 10 messy trades that drain your account and your confidence. Pulling it all together, let's recap the blueprint. Number 1, strip away the noise and keep charts clean. Number 2, define your sniper setup with absolute clarity. Number 3, train execution with chart replay and practice. Number 4, build strict risk rules that guard your confidence. And number 5, wait for clean momentum and clear themes. That's it. No magic formulas, no secret shortcuts, just discipline, structure, and psychology. And here's the best part. You don't need millions to start. You don't need a fancy background. You don't even need years of experience. What you need is commitment to the process, the willingness to master yourself before you try to master the market. That's exactly what this trader did, and that's why $5,000 turned into millions. Not because he had something you don't, but because he built something inside himself that most traders refuse to build. The question now is, will you? Because if you take these 5 steps seriously, you'll begin to shift from chasing the market to controlling yourself. And once you control yourself, the profits follow.
So let's step back for a moment. We started this journey with a simple but almost unbelievable story. A trader who began with just $5,000 and turned it into millions. Not with magic, not with indicators, not with secret signals, but with psychology, discipline, and structure. And now you've seen exactly how he did it. He stripped away the noise. He defined his sniper setups. He trained his nervous system until execution became second nature. He built risk rules that protected his capital and his confidence. And he waited for clean momentum instead of forcing trades. Piece by piece, he stacked these habits. Day after day, he practiced them. And eventually, those habits transformed not only his trading account, but his identity. He stopped being the trader who chased, hesitated, and spiraled. He became the trader who acted with calm precision. That is the real lesson here. Trading isn't just about the market, it's about who you become in the process. The market will test you. It will test your patience. It will test your confidence. It will test your ability to stay calm when everything feels uncertain. And the trader who wins isn't the one with the most indicators. It's the one with the strongest identity. So here's my question for you. Who are you becoming? Every trade you take is a vote for the trader you want to be. Every disciplined decision strengthens your foundation. Every reckless choice weakens it. The results you see tomorrow are built on the habits you choose today. If you take nothing else from this video, take this. Your psychology is your edge. Your patience is your weapon. Your discipline is your shield. And when you master those, the profits follow naturally. Now, I want you to reflect for a moment. Which part of this masterclass hit you the hardest? Was it the idea of protecting your confidence with strict risk rules? Was it the sniper approach of waiting for clarity instead of chasing? Or was it the realization that you've been trading your emotions more than the market? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and I'd love to hear which lesson you're going to apply first. And if this breakdown gave you value, here's what to do next. First, hit that like button. It tells me you found this helpful, and it pushes this message to more traders who need to hear it. Second, subscribe if you haven't already.
Because on this channel, we don't just talk about strategies, we build traders. We dive into psychology, discipline, and the mindset shifts that create long-term success. And third, share this video with someone you know who's struggling in the markets, because sometimes the difference between quitting and succeeding is hearing the right message at the right time. Remember this, the trader we studied today didn't start with millions. He started with $5,000. Just like you, he faced fear. Just like you, he made mistakes. Just like you, he questioned if this path was even possible. The difference wasn't talent. The difference was mindset. So ask yourself, what's stopping you from making that shift today? The journey is tough, the lessons are hard, but the reward, becoming a trader who cannot be shaken by the market, is worth everything. So take this blueprint, apply it, build your discipline, train your nervous system, protect your confidence, and step into the identity of the trader you were meant to become. Because the truth is simple, strategies come and go, indicators rise and fade, but psychology, the way you manage yourself, will always be the edge that separates winners from losers. Thank you for spending your time with me today. I hope this masterclass gave you not just strategies, but a shift in perspective. I'll see you in the next video, but until then, remember, you don't trade the market, you trade your mind.